My name is Fred Danziger. I was honored in 2019 to be commissioned by Brecher, a wonderful doctor and art collector, to paint a portrait of three of our artist friends.
This is the story not of three, but of 5 friends, all of whose lives have been enhanced by art. 4 of us live within driving distance of Philadelphia. The other one resides in Australia. I'm John Thornton, and I have known Fred Danziger since I was wowed by a show of his in 1977. We became close during the decades when we both taught at the Art Institute of Philadelphia. One morning in 2005, Fred giddy-upped into school and hands me a portrait he had secretly done of me. "Here, John, this is yours. Hope you like it." Like it? Are you kidding? To have your likeness and your soul captured by as great an artist as Fred is an extraordinary gift. In 2016, I made a movie about one of my favorite artists, Gregory Gillespie. Somehow it came to the attention of an Australian radiologist. Dr. Eric Brecker also happens to be a major art collector who owns several Gillespies, as well as works by many other fantastic artists. I asked Eric, as a collector, what is he looking for? His specific response to this piece told me a lot. He wrote, "I have very limited knowledge of the artist. I like the found materials he created the work out of and its naive construction. What would possess the artist to create the pilot out of aluminum foil and hang an aluminum ball off the tail of the plane like a disco ball? This work is unique to this one artist and testament to his existence on this planet, like a vanitas work. It makes me wonder who the artist was and what he went through in his life and what possessed him to create the work." Eric reached out to me and we became Facebook friends. Very soon, Eric was friends with my identical twin brother Jim, my art school roommate Edgar Gerrans, and of course, Fred Danziger. At some point, Eric saw a photo of Fred's portrait of me and said, "I must own this." "Never," I replied. "Nothing will come between me and my Danziger." So Eric tried to get Fred to paint another one. Fred, can you pick up the story from here?
Hello, John. What an incredible experience it was to work on this. Eric, when he first asked me about doing a portrait of you, I was so busy with other things, I declined. Then later, after I got to know Eric a little better and what he was all about, and he floated the idea of doing a portrait of the three of you, it sounded very intriguing. And he sent me a photograph of a 17th century Dutch painting of some art patrons in a huge gallery with thousands of paintings all around. And he said something like this. After some back and forth, I realized I wasn't going to be able to paint the three of you with thousands of artworks, but a few artworks seemed like a doable thing.
As luck would have it, Fred had easy access to our art through a 2-day pop-up show last December. The 3 of us, Jim, Edgar, and John, referred to ourselves as Jedge. We are mostly known on Facebook for lame jokes and liking each other's posts. And bad Christmas Carol videos.
So I came up with a few concepts. The alternate concept was a museum, as if the three of you were standing inside a museum. But I really liked the idea of the three of you sitting inside one of Edgar's drawings.
Our friend Edgar is nationally known for his very large drawings of people who face struggles in their lives. His empathy for his characters is palpable. Edgar himself has lost his 3 brothers, 2 from suicide.
The one of Jock, especially, I like that living room concept, and so I worked up the sketches for that, and Eric said, whatever you think is best, Fred. So I went ahead and had the 3 of you sitting there and settled on at least 3 pieces from each of you. Eric wanted his 2 dogs in there, which seemed very appropriate, and he also requested that I put in the original portrait that I had done of you. I did an underpainting in black and white. He loved it. He insisted that I shouldn't start the painting until he had paid me fully for it. So that's what I did. I just worked on other things. Every once in a while he would send me some money, and when he got up to what we had agreed upon, I began with the full color layers. It was just an amazing thing to work on. We had the JEJ show at Harvey and Tripp's place. I arranged the 3 of you to pose, which was invaluable. I couldn't have done this without it, really. And the photo session we had, maybe 100 photographs all told, and settled on this one particular one. If you recall Edgar saying, do something with your hands, make your hands interesting, something like that, and you all started gesturing, and I think that's a very important part of the painting. The hands really add so much to it. The first thing I did was the faces. That's generally what I do on portraits. There's not much point in putting time into it if you don't have the face right. So I worked really hard on the faces. And then I really wanted to do a great job on those shirts too, which I think adds so much texture and a sense of tactile quality, and the way the light is raking up from below. Using Edgar's signature lighting. So I thought it tied in with what Edgar does. Certainly you and Jim sitting there on either side of him. The wonderful friendship that the 3 of you have had, which is very obvious in everything that you guys interact with each other. It's a great friendship. Those rare things in life that we just hold on to and give us so much comfort as we go through life. Good and bad things happen to us, and when we have great friends, it's such a comfort. So I was hoping that idea of 3 great friends would come across, 3 incredible artists.
Hello, my name is Edgar Gerens.
I met John when I had just turned 18 and I attended the Pennsylvania Academy of the Fine Arts. When I met Jim, there was an immediate sense of fun and abandon, and we just had a great time together. That's never left. The 3 of us became lifelong friends. Lots of laughter, lots of joking around. We still joke around. But more importantly, John and Jim have always been there for me.
I'm Jim Thornton, John's identical twin, lifelong friend of Edgar, and the beneficiary of 2 other great people in the art world, Fred Danziger and art patron Eric Brecker. How can a human being possibly capture in such detail the essence of a half-century friendship? What inspires another man on the other side of the earth to conceive of and commission such a work? As a self-taught cartoon doodler, for years the only way viewers could figure out my subject matter was to read the labels. Dromedary, microsuppository pellet, transfiguration, cute girl. Without such little hints, I doubt anyone would have had a clue what I was trying to draw. All of which brings me back to Eric. From the start, he's championed even the most primitive of my efforts. Genuine or facetious, it doesn't matter. Eric's convinced me that I am an invited guest and not some boorish party crasher at Art's Grand Festival.
I just love what Jim is doing with his artwork. It's incredibly creative and very much what art really is about. It really comes from within him, and I love what he's doing. He downplays himself as an artist, but he is an artist, and Eric calls him the greatest of all time, and he may be, who knows? He's certainly one of the most interesting creative minds that I've experienced. Really enjoy Jim's work. And of course, John, your work always intrigued me. And as much as I love your videos, I always wonder if John had gone on with his painting. And who knows, you may again pick it up, who knows.
I did paint up until the day in 2007 when I came into the Art Institute and Fred showed me a short YouTube video that he himself had made. I did not know that normal people could make movies. How the hell did you do that? I asked in astonishment. It's easy, John. You can figure it out in an hour. And so my video career began, which I so dearly love, and it's because of you, Fred.
I do love your videos, and I know you found a great joy in making them. So your ideas and the concepts behind them is just fantastic. And of course, Edgar is just an incredible artist of true life. And I feel great camaraderie with Edgar, actually, having grown up in a similar kind of working class neighborhoods and the kinds of experiences that I've had in my life. I did lose a brother to a suicide, which not many people know about. So I feel great empathy with what Edgar has gone through in his life and the way he's been able to deal with it through these incredible drawings, which are among the best things in American art, if you ask me. Tremendous work. So it was a great honor to paint you three and to try to replicate your artwork in miniature. The painting's only 40 inches wide, so I'm taking an 8-foot drawing of Edgar's and shrinking it down to 8 or 10 inches. Quite demanding, but as this thing evolved in my studio, it was amazing to live with it. Especially that beyond the underpainting, everything was done during the period of isolation in April and May of 2020. In many ways, I think it's the perfect painting for this time. It's about the three artists, but it's also about friendship and how art reveals a kind of fearless search for meaning in life.
I want to thank you both so much. Thanks to Eric's relentless praise, Jedge has become an actual, albeit relatively small-scale, phenomenon. The Jedge pop-up show will forever remain the Rubicon I crossed from dilettante to professional artist. Eric appointed Fred as his agent to buy pieces from each Jedge member. Thanks to Eric, the spirit of the Medicis continues to tread God's green earth.
Eric, thank you for commissioning it. Fred, you've created an extraordinary portrait. There's an intensity to it. I can't wait to see it in real life. John and Jim, let's start working on next year's Christmas Carol.
Fred, you put your heart and soul and all your consummate skill into this. We are deeply grateful and honored to be friends with you. And Eric, what we artists need more than anything as we navigate this sinful and broken world is encouragement, which you have provided in abundance bless you, our dear friends.